It's the last day at Cookery School, and the students get a masterclass on the world of wine by leading expert Ewan Lacey.
So today we're going to look at port, okay? Port wine comes from a seaport city in Portugal called Oporto. So I'm going to give you a little bit to start with. And what's the first thing you notice about this port?
It's clear.
It's clear. So we actually get red and white port. Not everybody's aware of the fact that you do get white port, but here it is. Now, it's dry compared to the red ports, and it's the sort of drink that you could safely have before dinner. But to make it a bit more exciting, get some ice, get some mint, get some lime.
You know, we're getting a cocktail.
Well, is it a cocktail or is it a wine cup? I don't know. I mean, it's just something that we sort of sling together. A bit of white port. You don't need too much.
I like your idea of not too much.
Well, the thing is, of course, Richard, it's not as strong as a spirit, mint. And then we're going to top it up with a little bit of tonic.
Party!
Yeah.
It's a port wine spritzer, or a port spritzer.
It's closer to that than a cocktail, yeah, for sure.
Oh, that is actually really nice.
I don't like spirits because they're too strong. This is really nice.
But
and
this
light.
is really, it's light. I think it's right up there with a really nice sort of summer evening drink. White port. Who would have thought? Now, the next wine we're going to look at, again, it's a port, but you notice the bottle. It's a bit more kind of contemporary. What does it remind you of when you smell it?
It has a very fruity, very fruity smell.
Very fruity smell, isn't it? And dried fruit. The fruit we're looking at with port, we've got plums, we've got raspberries, obviously red grapes, figs, dates, raisins. It's that kind of sweet, dark fruits.
So, Ewan, what is the difference between port and wine?
Port's a fortified wine. So what that means is halfway through making it, they add brandy. So that strengthens the wine, and it also stops all the sugar turning into alcohol. So that's why we get that enormous sweetness. Brandy would be 40% alcohol, but port is about 19 to 20%, okay? So it's stronger than a table wine for sure, but it's not as strong as a spirit or a liqueur.
That goes with like these types of fruits.
Precisely.
If you were going to eat the fruit, you would think of what you would pair the fruit with food-wise if you're having food problems.
Precisely.
This I'm loving.
Yeah, I'm glad. So that's the red port, but just one word about corks. If the bottle has got one of these corks in it, it means it's a vintage port, okay? Which means there's a little bit of fussing to be done, because they shove this stuff in the bottle quite soon after it's made. So you get a lot of what's called sediment, you know, all bits of the plant, the grape plant and everything. So I'm going to show you how to decant. You need a clean decanter and a funnel. And finally, a pair of tights. No. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for them.
They came with the set.
So you just stretch that across the funnel, and then you slowly start to pour the wine through it. Did you know that part of the reason why you get so much stuff in the bottle of port is because they still make it by treading the grapes by foot?
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Because they want as much of that kind of, that goodness that you get from the grapes, but they don't want machines involved, which would rip and crush the stems and stalks and pips. So we get a little bit of sediment, but not too much, but the wine that we're drinking is clear. Here we are. This is a vintage port. Luscious is what I'd say, and you know, there's an ancient saying that wine is bottled sunshine, and you know, this really is the sunshine from Portugal.
It's almost creamy as you're drinking it.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe get some cheddar, some almonds, some nuts, some dried fruits. It's a fantastic way to finish an evening.
Wine class over. It's time to cook the last dish.